What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to Season 2 and Episode 11 of The Race, here with Kingston Sprint. We are back, and today we have our second attempt here at the MLS title. We had a very good season last year, which, well, if you missed the end of season review and you want to kind of be filled in, you can go and watch the previous episode, Episode 10, and, well, as you can see on screen today, LA Galaxy, they are going to be the team we're taking on. I have already played one game in the league. That was against San Jose Earthquakes. I played them at the start of last year. They are one of the weaker teams in MLS. Their odds are right down there, kind of in the lower end of the table. And, well, LA Galaxy, who we take on today, they have one of our own. They have Michael Carrick. He left us, of course, at the end of last season, and in the waiver draft, he went to Los Angeles. So, I mean, he's going to be loving it. And, well, I imagine he's going to want to get some revenge on us today, the 36-year-old. Of course, with it being the transfer window, we have had loads of transfer business going on. Let's have a look at it. The first thing that we did, actually, in December was a trade. And this was not necessarily a trade I was planning on making. It kind of just came to be. Basically, DC United offered me the 5th pick in the Super Draft. Now, it's worth noting the Super Draft is where all the good young prospects obviously come in. I had a few players who I wasn't too keen on. They basically wanted an international slot, and they also wanted Mark Pelosi, of course, the centre midfielder. Had a very good first season at the club. And I decided that I'd do this trade for a first Super Draft slot, or first round slot, and it was the 5th pick, if they took off kind of a little bit of dead wood off my hands. So you can see here, Amadou Dia they took, Woodbrine they took, and they also took Solis. They've kept Solis, but the other two players they've actually waived. But it enabled me to get a few players who I was going to struggle to get rid of. I don't even know if I missed out that much, because I probably could have just waived them myself. But at the same time, it was nice to just get rid of that deadwood. And, well, with that 5th round pick, we did make quite a good little pick. We'll get on to our drafts and stuff in a second, but there were some transfers as well. As I mentioned, Michael Carrick left us. A few other players left us. A few of these actually players who we drafted in who just weren't going to fit kind of into our overall squad, and so I let go. But all in all, I feel like we have added some nice strength today and for this season. So the first player we brought in, Keneal Curlew. This guy, he's just a versatile player, really. He can play centre mid, can play left back, can play right back. Really just offers us kind of lots of coverage. You can see 7 caps for Jamaica as well. Definitely not the most talented player by any means, but as a player coming in on a kind of the lowest kind of senior minimum salary, I think he's a pretty good option there. The next player we picked up, the player we actually picked up with that DC United pick, it's this guy, Austin Reynoso. You can see here, 19 years old, loads of potential. He is a Generation Adidas player, which means basically he's one of the top picks, and it also means that we don't have to worry about his wages until he breaks into the first team. You can see here, professional kind of individual. We have currently got him being tutored, which is good. You can see his determination already on the rise, and definitely a player for the future. There were a few other players we drafted in who I just ended up letting go. This guy, Dan Minshall, was one of them. Has some potential, but ultimately I just didn't have kind of space for him in the squad. Same with Nolan Brown. The next player we brought in, however, Kalen Hines, a player who, if you've been watching the Hereford series, The Charge to the Top, you may be familiar with. We brought him in on that series. We brought him in here. 20 years old. We've got him on loan from Sheffield Wednesday for the next 2 seasons. His wages, as you can see, absolutely peanuts. They are kind of the lowest that they can be for a player in our division. And yeah, really excited to get this guy in. It's worth noting as well, if you go to his international, he has also got Jamaican nationality, so that's a kind of an added bonus there. 20 years old, I think this guy has a little bit of room to develop. He's going to be a very good backup striker for us, and to get him in on loan for 2 years, very good bit of business. Anyway, a few free transfers that we brought in. Fernando Gomez joins us. He was released by New York Cosmos. Good little bit of strength and depth in the centre of the midfield. 24 years old, very good defensively. Definitely can be a good little deep line playmaker as well. 14 vision, 15 passing. Really like the look of him as some strength and depth. The next player we brought in, Yasser Kazim, Iraqi international, 32 goals. 32 appearances, 4 goals for the national team there. 26 years old, fairly professional player, very, very low wages. Was released by Swindon, where he spent a number of years. I really like the look of this guy as a deep line playmaker. You can see his attributes really well suited to this role, definitely of MLS quality. And so to bring him in on a free, just a great little bit of business. Joel Garza was another player we brought in following the draft. Unfortunately, couldn't find a spot for him in our squad, so I did end up having to kind of waive him away. And, well, two more players. One will stick out more than another. We'll look at this guy first, Donovan Halliman. Actually, a player I talked about last episode in the end-of-season review, saying I was kind of looking at him as a good goalkeeping option, potentially, from our kind of academy in Jamaica. He is going to come in and kind of be our third-choice goalkeeper this year. 17 years old, very low wages, ambitious personality. Hopefully, he can develop into a top player. And, well, the player that probably stands out the most, a player who, obviously, loads of rumours that he was going to join MLS and join Seattle. I'm not even sure if he has joined Seattle. I assume he has. If I'm wrong now, that's really awkward, and I apologise, Seattle fans, because I think this guy would have been a great signing in MLS. But 31 years old, Kaisuke Honda, we've signed him from AC Milan for peanuts, really. The league agreed to contribute towards the deal. $2.7 million paid. You can see he got an assist on his debut. Fantastic centre midfielder. And, well, if we compare him just quickly to Michael Carrick, he's definitely not as good as Carrick as kind of a deep-lying playmaker defensively, but you can see he's just very well-rounded as a player, and he's got good physical still, which was something that was a bit of a concern with Carrick. And I think with Honda, we're actually playing him as kind of an attacking midfielder on support, very kind of technically gifted from free kicks as well. So I'm delighted to get this guy, and I think he's going to be a great signing for us this year. Anyway, those are the transfer dealings that we did end up doing. I do want to just mention a bug that I've encountered with this database. It's kind of problematic, it's kind of not. As you guys will know, I had loads of problems getting this to work in kind of Football Manager Kingston Sprint. I've encountered a weird bug where my allocation money, if you don't know, you get kind of a few $100,000 of this every year. I am, for whatever reason, receiving like 10 million a year. Well, not even a year, a month. It was a normal amount at the end of the year, and the start of this season, it's just started going crazy. Now, this is a value, the allocation money, which I don't even think you can edit in Football Manager. I'm pretty sure it's locked. So I don't even know what the bug is behind doing this. Your allocation money is used to trade with players as well as buy down players' contracts to minimise the impact they have on kind of, what would you call it, your salary impact. So you can see here, with Daniel Johnson, I can basically pay off his salary like so, and it would reduce your general allocation funds. Of course, I've got loads of money now, so I could buy his down to nothing and still have loads of money left, which makes no sense. As I said, it's a bug. But the interesting thing worth noting is that for most players, because it's got to such a large amount, I can't actually buy down the contract. So I can't even abuse this bug if I wanted to. Obviously, it could actually prove problematic, the fact I can't buy down the salary cap impact, because this is normally a way you'd come in under impact. But, well, it's going to be an additional hurdle we have to jump over. But I wanted to make you guys aware of this bug. I know loads of people have been asking about kind of, Jack, when's the database coming out? This is exactly why I didn't want to put out the database immediately. I have done loads of testing with this. Unfortunately, the general allocation kind of money was just something that I didn't check because I didn't think it could change because, as I said, I'm pretty sure it's locked in the game. So, yeah, this is money that we could spend up to £500,000 or dollars in to kind of trade with other teams. But I wanted to make you guys aware of it. Weird bug. If anyone knows why it's happening, I'd love to have your theories. As I said, it's actually kind of more problematic for me because I can't buy down contracts. I don't know if the money's going to reset or if it's going to keep rising forever. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But, well, if this series wasn't challenging enough, there might be a whole new hurdle there. Anyway, in terms of the team for this season, obviously not drastic changes really. Kind of looking at the overall squad, I'm pretty happy with it. I think there's quite a lot of balance. I think we're kind of a little bit better suited now to play a few different formations. I talked a little bit about that previously. I still want to kind of persist, I guess, with a 4-3-1-2, but with some of the players we've got, we have got the option potentially to switch to a wider system like a 4-2-3-1. But I want to stick with kind of what's worked for us so far, I guess. Kind of looking at our team, obviously, Andre Blake in goal for this game against LA Galaxy. Fantastic player for us. Obviously, had a fantastic first year. He has been out injured. He got a pretty bad injury. You can see a dislocated shoulder. He then has since bruised his shin. So he's a little bit struggling on condition, but as a goalkeeper, I'm not so worried about that. Obviously, O'Neill Fisher keeps his spot in the first team, the Rabona Maestro. The back four actually is unchanged with Ike Apara. I'm actually contemplating playing Fabian McCarthy more this year over Jones, of course. Jermaine Taylor. Jermaine Taylor, a good player, but at 33 years old, definitely kind of falling off a cliff now when it comes to his ability, and I think McCarthy is probably a better suited kind of centre-back option. Kamalas at left-back, obviously nothing new there. This year, Daniel Johnson's going to play centre kind of mid in the box-to-box midfielder role rather than playing that more attacking midfielder role. That due to, of course, Kazuki Honda's addition. We have Kazim, who's going to play deep line playmaker. Jermaine Anderson, obviously 21 years old, a player I really, really rate highly. He's going to be playing kind of that left centre mid role for us. Kazuki Honda kind of playing centre attacking mid. And we're going to go with Julian Green and Andre Clennon up top. So not drastic changes really to the starting 11 for this year. That is what I consider our strongest team right now. And obviously on the bench we've got some pretty nice strength with the likes of Kalen Hines, Kevin Hunt, Ricardo Morris, Jermaine Taylor, Fernando Gomez. I really like the look of this team. I think we're in a very good position kind of going into this season. Just a little bit more news just to quickly talk about the Caribbean Club Championship. Of course, we were involved in during the pre-season. Good performance here. As you can see, we did win the entire thing, which does see us qualify for the North American Champions League. Fairly standard, lots of clean sheets, lots of goals. Was kind of a good pre-season, I guess, kind of way to build up some confidence, which is great. And well, hopefully we can continue some of that momentum we got in that game into today's match. Anyway, let's get into today's game. It's against LA Galaxy, as I already said. I want to do well against LA Galaxy this year. You know, I want to try and improve upon our third place finish in the Supporter Shield. You can see in terms of the pre-season odds, LA Galaxy, second favourites. We are down in 7th. So a little bit of pressure on us to do well here, but we'll see what we can do. Worth noting that for, I believe, the first time ever in the season preview, Kazuki Honda considered one of the key players in the league, which is good because, well, we didn't have a key player in the league prior to this. In fact, now I think about it, Kamal Lawrence may have been a man in that position, but you can see Emmanuel Mas has joined Houston Dynamo. He's a very, very good fullback indeed, the Argentine international. But anyway, let's get into today's game. LA Galaxy going to be our foes. As I said, not really a drastic change kind of in terms of the squad. A few new squad players added, but for the most part, the core of the team is very much the same. Only really Kasim and Honda breaking into the first team. I was surprised and, well, pleasantly surprised by just how well we played last season. I didn't want to change it too much. Of course, I knew Michael Carrick was going to be leaving us. And, well, you can see here he is considered their key player, so we've got to be wary of that. But yeah, you know, I kind of came into this game and I felt like, you know, with Carrick going out, I needed to get in a new centre mid DP. And I think you know, Honda is going to be a fantastic designated player for us. Also worth noting, I have fixed our kit, so we will no longer have the wrong kit. So that's an added bonus. That was a little bit more tricky than I thought it was going to be to remove the Atlanta United licensed kits, because of course they were added during the January update, which was after I started this series. Of course, with Atlanta now officially an MLS side, so I had to kind of work that out. But we have done that. And, well, hopefully, now in officially our green and yellow kit, we can have a better performance than the last game that you guys saw, of course, against Toronto 2 episodes ago. So anyway, I noticed LA Galaxy are actually playing a wider kind of 4-3-3 system, so that's going to be interesting to see how we deal with that. But hopefully we can expose their fragilities in the middle, and, well, that's what we're looking to do here. Andre Clennon, Honda, the new man on the block, going to be looking for him to have an impact in his live-com debut. O'Neal Fisher cuts inside, tries to put in the ball. Honda's there. Anderson hits it. Oh my gosh, Jermaine Anderson. He missed the end of the season, of course, with an injury. He's back with a bang. First goal of the season for him, was absent in those Toronto games that we had, and, well, I didn't expect him to do this. Kazuki Honda, another assist to add to his name. 2 in 2 games. Hit low and hard from range. Anderson, lovely directed shot by him, right into that bottom corner. Keeper had no chance, and, well, Michael Carrick, he might be wishing he didn't go to LA the way things are going at the moment. He has come in to be their Steven Gerrard replacement, and, well, we're tearing them apart at the moment. Fisher perhaps should have done a little bit better there. He was in a really good situation to try and make something happen. In the end, the goalkeeper with a nice save to keep the score at just 1-0. But, well, looking at the stats, 2 half chances our way. We're having slightly more possession, although a long bullet throw here. Whipped in, we head it clear. Kasim, can he get there? He can't. Gat, bringing the ball forward, lays it out wide. We've got to be wary here. Ball whipped in, a few men free in the box. And, well, Gat, he should have done better for LA Galaxy. The goal, it was at his mercy. And Andre Blake, who he is lacking a little bit of condition after his bruised shin injury, I mean, he collected it with relative ease. And, well, we're on the attack once more here. O'Neal Fisher whips it in back post. Honda, and, well, Andre Clennon has just launched that in. It's another assist, I think, for Honda. I mean, maybe this is his calling in life. Maybe the Japanese player has found a home here in Jamaica. It is his home debut today. Ball whipped in. Or, in fact, no, it's not his home debut. The last game was at home as well. But Clennon, bang. I mean, the keeper has no chance. I thought Andre Clennon was going to smash that over the crossbar. I didn't believe in him. Of course, really one of our standout players last year, Andre Clennon. I wasn't sure, as I said, if he was going to be up to kind of scratch to do it again this year. Even last year I had doubts about him, but well, with a finish like that, maybe I should doubt him a little less, because at half-time, it's 2-0 here. We've been very, very comfortable, although I can notice here, Honda, he wasn't given that assist for the second one. It's not fair. He should have had it. But either way, we are on top. Both fullbacks on bookings is a tiny bit concerning. We have got the options to change that. We could move Fabian McCarthy out to left back. I know Neil Fisher could obviously just come on out off for Decoy Williams, and Montrose Finn could slot in the middle. But I don't really want to do that at half time. LA Galaxy, they have quality. I've got to be wary of them. And I feel like to change our team too much would be a risk, even at 2 goals up at half-time. Of course, still plenty of time in this game. Of course, if we get a sending off, I now kind of look like an idiot, don't I? And well, they probably should have scored there in LA Galaxy. A great, great chance. You can see they've had 2 clear-cut opportunities now. They've taken neither of them. But I am just a little bit concerned. Our fullbacks, you can see here, their ratings, really, really good. But I'm still a little bit concerned about the fact they are on bookings. Kamal Lawrence is tiring. There's only 15 minutes left. Let's make a change here. McCarthy's going to go to left back. Decoy Williams is going to come in at centre back. I'm also going to take off Yasser Kazim, and I'm going to bring in Kevin Hunt, the young Trinidad and Tobago youngster, a player who I really want to develop. Kevin Hunt. I think he is like a potential kind of franchise player going forward. I think he's, you know, a player who could be absolutely huge for us. I think Clenham may have picked up a knock as well. I think his condition was like down at like 30%, so that's a concern. He is going to score, but yeah, down at 50%. Let's just take him off and kind of play things safe. We'll bring in Caelan Hines, who's joined us on loan, of course. The 20-year-old joining us from Sheffield Wednesday for 2 years on loan. I really want to see him play for the kind of Jamaican national team. Obviously, he's a similar player in some ways to Jermaine Anderson, actually, the centre midfielder, who, of course, is our club captain, in the sense that they are both English players, but both have Jamaican heritage and both have the option to play for the Jamaican national team if they so wish. I'm kind of hoping that they make that decision sooner rather than later. But anyway, this is looking like a great performance by us here. 3-0 the score. And you'd have to say Andre Clennon, fantastic performance by him. Hopefully he hasn't picked up an injury and he was just a little bit tired. But, well, we've won with relative ease here. 3-0 it finishes at Independence Park. Top performance by the boys. A few bookings, perhaps a little bit concerning there. Clennon on a 9.1, man of the match. Jermaine Anderson on an 8.8 as well. A fantastic performance by him in the centre of midfield. Obviously, great to see the youngster who did get an injury at the end of last season kind of bounce back and give a really good performance there. But anyway, guys, ideal start as far as we are concerned. Another clean sheet to add to our name. In terms of when we'll be back, the Toronto game is in just over a month's time. I think that's going to be a really good game to do. Of course, Toronto kind of developing as a little bit of a rival for us. So that game away from home could be a fairly big match as far as we're concerned. Of course, hopefully I do see you guys for that game. If you have enjoyed today's episode, as always, please do leave a like on the video. If you've got any comments, leave them down below. Let me know what you make of Kaisuke Honda. Is he an adequate Michael Carrick replacement? Is he a player who can make a difference for us this year? I want to know your predictions down in the comments. Anyway, that is all from me. As I said, thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.